great win. Team ahead of us in the standings. We have our destiny in our own hands as far as our league. We have a long way to go, obviously, with 20 games, but that's a game we really felt like we needed to win. And first half, one of our best halves of the year. We only had 6 turnovers, kept them off the glass. We shot the ball well. Thought we ran our offense well. Really a good half. Started the second half, we got away from what we had success in the first half. We started getting threes and not getting the ball inside, and we fouled a few times. And the first 3 or 4 minutes, we just didn't get any good looks. And then we kind of just played basket by basket, right? It was like 14-12, 14-12, 14-12. We never extended it. You're not going to put a team away if you just exchange baskets, and I thought that's what we did for a while. And you know what? They started putting pressure on us. We got to handle that better. We got to finish off 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s. I thought we were aggressive off of their press. I think we had 1 bad turnover, but we didn't finish. 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, we got to finish. That was the problem with Ramapo. We had a lot of opportunities to score against them because that's the way they played. We just got to handle those situations better. But offensive glass, phenomenal. We had 14 offensive rebounds, 12 turnovers. I'd like to see a little under 10 with that, but great win. Great win.
Went to a small lineup quite a bit today.
Yeah, because they did. They're not very big, but so we had to match up with them a little bit, and especially it seemed like the second half they went small. They went big to start the game, but then they had foul trouble too. Keller was in foul trouble, so maybe they didn't have much of a choice. But we have a lineup that we can go small too, because defensively that's where we got to win games. I felt the second half we gave up some easier baskets. And what they shoot? They shot 56% from the field. That's not good defensively. You want a team to shoot under 40 would be great, but I thought we handled, for the most part, when they went small, I thought we handled it pretty well.
Kev, you got the start tonight. It seemed like you really got yourself in a pretty good rhythm early on.
Yeah, it was all my teammates, so they helped me. They told me just to be the same person I am when I come off the bench. Coach let me have the start today. I want to take advantage of it, so I felt comfortable being in starting lineup, just taking advantage of the opportunity.
John, you were 35 minutes. We weren't sure you were going to have 35 after you got knee to the head. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
What's your name?
John.
All right.
I was just shaking up a little bit. I hit my head, but just rattled for a second. I was ready to go back in.
But what kind of problems did they cause you?
You talking about hitting my head?
Well, no, just in the game, Marian.
Just pretty much. For the second half, just like you were saying, handling the pressure. They picked up their intensity. It was way different than the first half. The first half it was they were kind of laid back. We were able to get kind of what we wanted, but they picked it up. So we got to kind of learn how to adjust and come back and be just as aggressive as the other team is, rather than being letting the other team be the aggressive the whole time. So that's pretty much for the second half.
You got 7 rebounds. For a point guard to crash the boards.
Yeah, that was the big thing today, because they're a good offensive rebounding team, especially their guards themselves. And our thing was to come into the game, make sure our bigs were to make sure that their bigs didn't get the rebounds, and the guards had to come in and clean it up. So the bigs were doing their job. It was pretty much easy from there. For me to just come in, swoop them in, try to be more aggressive like that every game.
Coach's team was pretty balanced offensively. I think every player scored, as a matter of fact. So how nice is it to have kind of everyone chipping in on offense?
Well, it's great coaching. Number one. That's what we need. We talked about as a staff that we got to have, number one, not everyone's going to have a great night offensively, but they all have to pick each other up. One game, maybe Reamer, right? Reamer has 8 points coming off the bench, which is huge, right? Tehran now, we're having him come off the bench. He has 10. If we have 2 or 3 starters that have a pretty good game offensively, then you have a couple bench guys that come in. It also takes the pressure off of people. If you feel a guy comes off the bench and makes a couple of shots, you just don't feel like the starters have to score all the time, and that's huge for us. And you could feel it. You could feel it on the bench. You could feel it in the game. But if you have 5 or 6 guys in double figures, number one, it's unselfish too. And number two, I just think if we're going to be a really good team, that's what we're going to need.
Between Reamer and Reynolds, they were combined 6 for 6. When you got in the block, you were going to score.
They weren't very big, so that was one of our things. We wanted to get the ball inside. I thought the end of the second half is when we really hurt them inside. We really got good touches. We finished, and they started doubling. We made good decisions out of the double team, and we did a nice job. They didn't double much in the second half. They kind of said, all right, you're going to get it inside, finish. Our bigs got to do a better job of finishing in those situations. So, but yeah, it was a good game, a great game to win, and we got a tough one on Wednesday. Lutheran's playing pretty well.
I was going to say, what about Lutheran?
Well, they're 6-6 today. They're at Dominican. I think they were up 4, but they had 2 wins in Vegas, and they beat Wartburg, who's a really nice team. Actually, Mark Forney saw them play against Oshkosh or Eau Claire, and he said they were really good. So for Lutheran to beat them is a big win. And they got 5 starters back from last year, who I thought they were pretty good. And on the road's tough, so I don't care who you play. Got to play well on the road. So, but we're going to enjoy this for a little bit, and hopefully get prepared on Monday and Tuesday for Lutheran.
All right, good luck.